Good morning, sir. Sridevi here. Venkatachalapati, sir, are you on the line? Good morning, sir.
Sridevi
Yes,
ma'am.
madam. Yes, madam. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, sir. Sridevi here. Good morning, one and all. We have here today Dr. K. Venkatachalapati, sir, Assistant Professor and Director in Charge, Center for Yoga Studies, Annamalai University. And today, sir is going to give us the lecture on pranayama and meditation. Over to you, sir. We welcome you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Are you hearing my voice?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good
Yes,
morning.
sir. Good morning, sir.
First of all, I thank to the authorities as well as Dr. Ilongovan sir, Dr. Sridevi madam, and other people, those who are arranging a wonderful session in the COVID-19. And regarding that, today's session is related to pranayama and meditations. If you have any doubt after the completion of the class, we discuss about that doubt and other things we have to clear it. And now we start the session. You know about yoga. Yoga means it coming from the word yuj. Yuj means merge or union of microcosmic energy merging with macrocosmic energy, or the self merging with the universe self, or the individual self merging with the universe self, or union of body, mind, breathe to realize the self. Or it is the development of the cerebral cortex, the development of the hippocampus area. You know about all this definition about yoga. And apart from that, there are four paths of yoga is there. One is called karma yoga, another one is called bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga. The karma yoga, it is yoga of right doing. Jnana yoga is nothing but yoga of right thinking. And bhakti yoga is nothing but the yoga of right emotional stability. And the last one is called Raja Yoga. It is a kingly yoga. It consists of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. It consists of 8 limbs. Apart from that 8 limbs also, vitarka, vichara, ananta, asmida, sarbija, nirbija, dharmavega, moksha is also there. There are 8 limbs are there. The first 5 limbs and second 3 limbs we have to divide it into 2 parts. One is called Bhagiranga, another one is called Antaranga. In the pranayama, it comes under the category of the 4th stage, yama, niyama, asana, then pranayama. And before understanding about the pranayama, we must understand about the 2 aspects. What is prana? What is pranava? Prana is the vital force, life energy, vital energy, life energy. Or pra means that is the energy, it is the constant energy. Na means it is moving or movement. Another concept is there. Prana is the universal principle which is enter in our body. It is called birth. When it is come out from the body, that is called a death. It is the process of the energy which is responsible for life. That's why it is called life force, life energy. But the pranava is the universal sound. The pranava is the universal sound, which is the combination of akara, ukara, makara. We don't think about that akara, ukara, makara and the pranava. That we will discuss later on. First, what is prana? Prana is the vital force or life energy, vital energy, which is responsible for universal action as well as the individual actions. If you understand about the prana, then the prana which may be subdivided into another subheadings. What it is called major prana and upa prana. What are the major prana? Prana, apana, utana, samana, vyana. Then upa prana is called naha, kurma, krikara, devadatta and dhananjaya. The prana, the first one is moving upward direction or the forward direction. Samana is the sideward or balancing process. And utana, that is utana is the vegetative function. And samana is the balancing. And vyana is nothing but the transportations, which is the whole body transferring the energy. These are the main concept The prana, which is divided into 5 categories, that is called major prana, and another 5 prana is called minor prana. The major pranas are prana, apana, uttana, samana, dhyana, and upapranas are called as that is the functioning of the subtle actions, that is known as naga, kurma, krikara, devadata, and dhananjaya. Then apart
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Venkat, sir. Sir, கேட்கல சார் எங்களுக்கு.
it's okay.
Now it's okay, sir.
Oh, okay. The first process of prana vidya, how the pranayama is evolved. In Tirumular Tirumandram, several verses pricing the importance of pranayama as well as the prana. When we understand about this concept, the first concept is want to control the mind. The yogis, they want to control the mind. Without controlling of prana, controlling of mind is impossible. That's why the Tirumular said, Manmanam yengundu vayu mangundu, manmanam mangillai vayu mangillai, manmanathulle mayangirupparukku thotattu maambalam tungalumame. If there is the mind, there is the prana. If you want to control the mind, first of all, control the prana. Without controlling of prana, controlling of mind is impossible. And second thing, most of the emotional centers are located near the respiratory centers. If you want to control the emotional center, first of all, we must control the respiratory centers, because the signs interconnected with the nasographic signs. The right breathing control the left side brain, and left side breathing control the right side brain. Left breathing control the right, right breathing control the left. And another important concept is also there. It is interconnected with the prana. If you want to control the mind, first of all, control the prana. Without controlling of prana, controlling of mind is impossible. The yogi invented these techniques to control the mind, regulate the prana. This is called the pranayama. This is the first vidya is started. Second, how the pranayama is evolved means, in many yogis, they want to control the mind as well as they want to attain that self-realization process. They are going to attain in that hill area. The pressure of the prana is also very less. That time, they want to hold it, they want to regulate it, they want to channelize it. The pranayama is also evolved. In this process, if you want to know about this pranayama techniques, conservation is needed. That is the vidya. Conservation is needed. Concentration is needed. Harmonizing is needed. Preservation is needed. Activation is needed. Channelizing is needed. These are the process which is we learn from the prana vidya. In the prana vidya, next one, what is the difference between pranayama and breathing? Is it pranayama is breathing? Pranayama is different. Breathing is different. Breathing is a separate process of the gas exchanging process. It may be divided into two types. One is called the external breathing. Another one is called internal breathing. But in the external breathing, gas exchanging process, that is oxygen, we are taking the oxygen inside, we think it. But it is not alone oxygen. It consists of prana. What are the prana? One thing we must understand, prana which consists of oxygen 21%. The remaining thing, the 70% remaining thing, it may be a hydrogen or something. And apart from that, then remaining 4% only the carbon dioxide or something. But among the 21%, we are using only 4%. But ultimate goal of the prana vidya and pranayama was regulating the energy, controlling the energy, channelizing the energy. In pranayama, there are two important concepts there. Prana means vital force. Ayama means control. Control and expansion of vital force in conscious way is called pranayama. Conscious way. We underline the word conscious. Conscious way of breathing. But the conscious way of breathing, which consists of three important points. One is called expansion. Second one is called regulation. Third one is called channelizing and controlling. First word is called expansion, expansion of breathing. Second one is called regulation of breathing. Third one is called controlling of breathing. These three aspects only. Prana means vital aspects and vital process, vital energy. Prana means vital force. Ayama means a control and expansion of the vital force in conscious way is called the pranayama. Then in this process, you know about the physiology of pranayama. In the normal breathing, we are taking only 500 ml. We are able to inhale up to 4.8 liter. But what we are taking means only 500 ml of prana only we are taking. Among the 500 ml of prana, we are using only 350 ml. It is enough for the modern conditions. It is not enough for modern conditions. In the nasographic science, the nose interactive functions also, and that the more oxygen consumption also, where means only the brains are consuming more oxygen. It is not enough for the modern stressful condition. For what is stress? You know, what is stress? Stress is nothing but the external pressure is more, internal resources are less. When the external pressure is more, what happened? The hypothalamus stimulates the pituitary. When we stimulate the pituitary secretes the hormone, what it is called acetylcholine hormone, that may stimulate the adrenaline and non-adrenaline glands. And after that, it may increasing the lactic acid and cortisol level. If the cortisol level is increased, it means it is a degenerating hormones which may consuming the oxygen atom in the cellular level. When it is taking the oxygen at the cellular level means it may lead to free radical. Free radical is the causes for many diseases. The free radical control only through the pranayama. This is the first process. Second thing, the ultimate goal of pranayama is increasing the quantum of oxygen and reducing the breath rate. In Tirumular Tirumandram, some of the verses I will explain both Tamil and English. I think you know about Tamil very well, but however, I myself want to explain both the Tamil and English. ஏறுதல் பூரகம் ஈரட்டு வாமத்தால் ஆறுதல் கும்பகம் 64 ஊறுதல் 32 ரேசகம் மாறுதல் ஒன்றின் கண் வஞ்சகமாமே. ஏறுதல் பூரகா, its inhalation is the puraga. Then a ratio they are mentioned it. ஏறுதல் பூரகம் ஈரட்டு வாமத்தால் 2 into 8. That ratio we will discuss later on. ஆறுதல் கும்பகம் 64 ஊறுதல் 32 ரேசகம் மாறுதல் ஒன்றின் கண். If you don't know about the ratio, then there is no use of pranayama. Then another poem, புல்லினும் மிக்க புறவியை மேற்கொண்டால் கல்லுண்ண வேண்டாம் தானே கலிதரும் துள்ளி நடப்பு விற்கும் சோம்புத விற்கும் உள்ளது சொன்னோம் உணர்வுடையோர்க்கே. புல்லினும் மிக்க புறவி means it is a prana. You must regulate inside means கல்லுண்ண வேண்டாம். Don't drink that somabana and sorabana in the modern nowadays. The peoples are using so many unwanted things. Then automatically which may secreting that hormones like melatonin, serotonin, norepinephrine, endorphin, dopamine. These chemicals are automatically secreted. These are the circadian rhythm chemical. This chemical which may moderate, and it is also changing your brain capacity and blooming your brain, and it acts as a neurotransmitters. And apart from that, another thing, when you are practicing this kind of pranayama means what happening? It is increasing your vital capacity. You need capillaries are open, micro circulation is enhanced. Then apart from that, through the pranayama practice, the cerebral cortex is developed. It is increasing the density of the gray matter. And the hippocampus area is also developed. When the hippocampus area and cerebral cortex is developed means it is density of the increasing the brain volume means what happened? The thinking ability, cognitive functions, everything is going on. You are moving towards the positive psychology. That's why pranayama playing a vital role. Then next one is called nadis and chakras, that we will also discuss about the later on. When we come to the two approaches of pranayama, what are the two approaches of pranayama? The first two approaches of the pranayama is called saharba. No doubt that is saharba. Second one is called the aharba. Saharba is nothing but the inner concentration. The inner concentration is needed. It is not more technical. For example, Buddha meditations, they are just observation of breathing. This kind of pranayama is called a saharba pranayama. It is not more technical, but we have to observe the breathing. This is the first approaches of the pranayama. Second one is called Aharba. When we come to Aharba, what is happening means in the Aharba, first one is called a simple holding. The simple holding technique is there. This is the first stage. Second process, it is the technical aspects. More technical is there, how to use the right nostril, how to use the left nostril, how to use both nostril, what are the types of pranayama, this kind of things which is more technical oriented, which is also consists of inner holding, mind oriented, as well as Sora Yoga, nasographic science, and apart from that Vasa Yoga, everything is interconnected with the Aharba. One is Saharba, another one is called Aharba. These two aspects is called approaches of the pranayama. Then, as a yogi, we must understand about the pranaspanda. Pranaspanda means how that energy working through the nadis. Nadis is nothing but the astral tubes which are passing the pranic currents to the whole systems of your body. In your body, there are 72,000 nadis are there. Among the 72,000 nadis, 10 nadis are very important. That is called Idagala, Pingala, Shushma, Gantari, Hastajava, Alampusa, Kugu, Yaseveni, Sangini, and Pusa. Among the 10 nadis, another 3 nadis there. That is called Ida Nadi, Pingala Nadi, and Shushma Nadi. And if you go come to that Pingala Nadi and the Shushma Nadi, apart from that, the Shushma Nadi is there. Inside the Shushma Nadi, Vajra Nadi, Chitra Nadi, and Brahma Nadi is there. When the practice and mostrating the prana, then it is opening the gateway of the Shushma Nadi. When we opening the gateway of the Shushma Nadi, the bioenergy enter through the Vajra Nadi, Chitra Nadi, and Brahma Nadi. They are moving apart from the 3 stages, what it is called the 3 gunas. Then it is the spiral-like work can be activated through the chakras. It is come through the chakras to chakra. Finally, it is merging with the Sagaskara chakra and the constant energy, the kinetic energy which is activated and passes through the central pathway, then merging with the constant energy, what it is called as Shivam, the conscious energy, it is called Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is also interconnected with the advanced stage of the pranayama. It is also a techniques of Hadha Yoga. In another techniques, we must understand what is the science behind when we are activating this bioenergy through the central pathway means inside the central pathway, the neuropeptide is there. It is called cerebral spinal fluid, CSF. The cerebral spinal fluid, which consists of neuropeptide, which act as a messenger molecule. The messenger molecule, which is responsible for cell-to-cellular message, when it is activated, means it is opening all the unopened centers of the brain. It is blooming and increasing the density of the brain. And at the same time, it is also channelizing through the nadis means the neuromuscular, neuroendocrine system effectively functioning. The neuromuscular and neuroendocrine system by balancing is going on through this system means the chakras are also working, means it remove all the blockages of the nadis also. This is called pranaspanda. How the energy working through the nadi is called pranaspanda. Then Sora Yoga. Sora Yoga is also called advanced state of pranayama. In the Sora Yoga, it is nothing but the nasographic science. In the nasographic science, you must understand Ida, Pingala, and Shushma. In Ida is nothing but the channel which is interconnected with mind or the emotions. Pingala, which is interconnected with the physical activities. One is emotional oriented activities, that is called Ida, and another one is physical activities. The third one is Shushma Nadi, that is called a channel of spiritual energy. Channel of spiritual energy. The channel of spiritual energy, the spiritual channel which may open means the gateway of the wisdom is open. These 3 is interconnected with the nasographic science. Then how to do this kind of exercise or anything means how your behavior pattern, cognitive functions, brain working, everything we must understand only through the Sora Yoga. These are the approaches of yoga. First, we must understand the approaches of yoga. After understanding the approaches of yoga, we must come to that. The next one is also very important things. How this right and left flow of breathing which may dominate. The right side breathing and left side breathing which is changed each and every day within 90 to 120 minutes. Then from the no moon day, that is called Sukla Bhaksha and Krishna Bhaksha. From the no moon day, what happened means after the no moon day, which nadi is mainly dominated, means Ida is dominated. From the full moon day, that is in Tevirai, what we called, then right side is dominated. When the left side is dominated, what are the works we have to do it? When the right side is dominated, what are the work we have to do it? This is also interconnected with the Swara Yoga. For example, you want to go to sleep. The person unable to sleep means we must dominate the left nostril, means we may able to easily sleep it. We want to do more work. Effectively, we want to do the more work means then we want to go to war or something, any physical activities means we must dominate. Sometimes we are taking the food, it is not properly digested, means we activated the right side. Sometimes more hunger is there, we activated the left side. This kind of things which is also interconnected with the
Venkat sir, Kekala sir. We are unable to hear you, sir. Sir, are you on the line?
Is it okay?
Yes, sir. சார் இன்னும் இது ஒரு 7 minutesல எண்ட் ஆக போகுது. அதுக்கு அப்புறம் மறுபடியும் ஒரு தடவை லாக் ஆன் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே நெக்ஸ்ட் ஓகே மேம் ஓகே மேம். That is okay.
You are audible, sir.
Okay. Then when we come to these aspects, and apart from this aspect, Puraka, Rechaka, Kumbhaka, Puraka is the expansion, Rechaka is the regulation, Kumbhaka is the retention process. Then the expansion process, which is inhalation, is the expansion, exhalation is the regulation, and retention is called the Kumbhaka. The retention is the controlling process. The controlling process, which may be divided into two types. One is called Sakita Kumbhaka, another one is called Kevala Kumbhaka. Sakita Kumbhaka and Kevala Kumbhaka, you must understand. Sakita Kumbhaka only, again it's subdivided into another two parts, what it is called Andar Kumbhaka and Bhagya Kumbhaka. We should not enter into directly Andar Kumbhaka and Bhagya Kumbhaka and Kevala Kumbhaka. This is not a right way. Then first one is called Sakita Kumbhaka. Sakita Kumbhaka only subdivided into two types. One is called Andar Kumbhaka, another one is called Bhagya Kumbhaka. The third one is called Kevala Kumbhaka. Then Kevala Kumbhaka is the automatic, spontaneous, breathless state. Andar Kumbhaka means we must hold it within. That is called a part with air, without air is called Andar Kumbhaka and Bhagya Kumbhaka. We hold it means Andar Kumbhaka. We exhale and hold it means that is called Bhagya Kumbhaka or Bhagya Kumbhaka or Shunya Kumbhaka. This is the approach, not approaches. This is the components or aspects of pranayama. Apart from that, we must come to the next stage, types of pranayama. When we come to the types of pranayama, the peoples also different categories are there. For example, endomorph, mesomorph, ectomorph, hyperactivity, hypoactivity, rajasic nature, tamasic nature, sattvic nature, below average, average, above average. Then apart from that, the dosha is also oriented, vata body, pitta body, kapha body. This kind of variation is there. But some of the modern techniques, we are applying the same type of pranayama to everybody means which is effectless. Then what we do it? We must understand the body functioning. What is the nature of the body? Then we have to classify the pranayama. The classification of pranayama is different from the names of pranayama. When we are asking about the names of pranayama, we are telling Surya Vedana, Chandra Vedana, Nadi Shuddhi, Shitali, Shitkari, Sadanta, Ujjayi Pranayama, Naga Pranayama, Dauti Pranayama, Shavatri Pranayama, Nada Anushantana Pranayama. Likewise, we are telling this is the names of the pranayama only, not the types of pranayama. If you want to understand about the types of pranayama, the types which may be consist of stimulating, cleansing, harmonizing, binding, cooling, regenerating, vitalizing, tranquilizing, and sensitizing. This is the type. Once again, I will repeat. I think I am going very fast, but due to the time consumption, first one is cleansing. Then second one is stimulating. Then harmonizing, binding, tranquilizing, vitalizing, channelizing, balancing. Then this kind of pranayama is also there. For example, first one, cleansing. Anunashika pranayama is a cleansing pranayama. Kapalapati is called a cleansing pranayama. Sometimes we call it as a Kapalapati as a cleaning techniques. But Hatha Yoga Pratipika, they are recommended only 8 kinds of pranayama. Other texts, they don't mention about the Kapalapati, but Kapalapati is also called as pranayama because the principles, regulation, controlling principles, we apply to Kapalapati. That's why it is also called as pranayama. Kapalapati is called cleansing pranayama. Bastrika, forceful inhalation and forceful exhalation. Bastrika is also called as a cleansing pranayama, as well as stimulating pranayama, as well as vitalizing pranayama. Then come to that Surya Vedana, Surya Anuloma. Surya Anuloma means we have to inhale through the right, exhale through the right, means that is called Surya Anuloma. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left is called Surya Vedana. Then Chantra Vedana and Chantra Anuloma. Inhale through the left, exhale through the left is called the Chantra Anuloma. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right is called the Chantra Vedana. Then alternate nostril breathing, that is called a Nadi Shodhana, Nadi Shuddhi, Anuloma and Villoma. There is the different stages are there. Nadi Shuddhi means a purification pranayama. Nadi Shodhana means a testing pranayama. Anuloma Villoma is the holding pranayama. This is also the variation is there. Apart from that, Savitri pranayama. The Savitri pranayama, who is Savitri means you don't tell it Savitri is nothing but a wife of Gemini Ganeshan. She is not a wife of Gemini Ganeshan. Savitri is the lady who rescued his husband from Yama. That's why what happened. This kind of pranayama, if you are practicing, means it rescue from that Yama. It increase in the vital capacity. It is also called as harmonizing pranayama, vitalizing pranayama, channelizing pranayama. What is the ratio means? 1:1:1:. Apart from that, the Murcha pranayama is also there. Plavini pranayama is also there. These are the different categories are there. And the Nada Anushantana pranayama. It's a wonderful pranayama, which is also called as harmonizing pranayama. This harmonizing pranayama harmonize your body as well as the mind. It consists of akara. Then we move from the akara means from Annamaya to Pranamaya, Pranamaya to Manonmaya, Manonmaya to Vinchanamaya, Vinchanamaya to Anantamaya. The stages are there. It is related to the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, superconscious, supraconscious, transcendental conscious, and divine conscious. If you want to reach the highest stage of the consciousness, means you must practice this kind of pranayama. This is needed for us. These are the types of pranayama. When after understanding about the types of pranayama, we must know about the techniques as well as that another important concept, 3. One is called matra. Matra is nothing but ratio. Then desha. Desha means how the prana is working in the different situation, different climatical condition. That also we must know it. One is called matra. Another one is called desha. The third one is called kala. Kala means duration. How long we must practice. Each and every pranayama we must practice means then how long we going to practice, what is the impact, everything we must understand means then only the pranayama is the more effective one. Then if you have any other doubt related to the pranayama, please note down it. Then other technical aspects I am unable to teach each and every aspects because the time limit is more. Then come to the next class, what it is called meditation. What is meditation? What is the relationship between the pranayama and the meditation? This aspect is come to the meditation chapter.
Sir, we will